I want to introduce our keynote. His name is Jack York. He's a CEO and co-founder of a company called It's Never Too Late. Jack is here from Colorado. Yay. I'm so excited to have him here. His bio is in your program guide. So to save time, because we're running a little bit over, I'm not going to read his bio, but I'm going to tell you why I asked him to come here today. I was in Sanibel Island at a conference, and I heard him talk passionately about his brother and how technology in his eyes can help bridge the gap between communicating with a loved one that's in the end stage of some kind of an illness. And I was so moved that I asked him if he could come here and talk today. And little did I know, he's got other things that are related to dementia care. So he's here today to explain some of his interesting and novel work. Jack York.
Hello, and thank you, everybody. Actually, we just hired, my family's all from Nebraska. And in 1984, Nebraska lost to Florida State in the Orange Bowl because of a kick at the last minute of the game. And we just hired, unbeknownst to me till I was looking at his resume, unbeknownst to me, we just hired that kicker who is now overseeing everything we do with Brookdale. So I'm able to every day tell him something he has to do to try to get even for what he did to me 20 years ago. So anyway, it is an honor to be here. I'm going to rip through really briefly just a few concepts that are really not so much me talking as much as me showing you clips. And you can read the biography or whatever, but the bottom line is that never in my wildest dreams of ever thinking of starting a business doing this is 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, my brother and I, just really on a whim, decided to donate some computers to some assisted living communities in California. And it was such a fascinating two things really struck me. The first was that for the people that were willing to take this leap, it was life-changing. And secondly, it was that traditional technology was going to be very difficult for people dealing with physical and cognitive disabilities. So we are a company, but I'm really not, everything I'm going to talk about today is very much just geared towards off-the-shelf tools that can be completely life-changing. And so when we started the company, again, I had I was in the Silicon Valley world. I never had dealt with nursing homes and dealt with senior living and all this kind of stuff. So one of the first systems that one of the first opportunities we had, an activity director at a nursing home in Colorado said that if the residents went along with what I was proposing, then they could get grant funding to get our system. So the trick was I had to get the residents enthused about this, and this is the year 2000. And so I do this PowerPoint presentation in front of about 30 residents, and I asked the question, has anybody ever used a computer before? And this one guy raised his hand, so I'm feeling good about it, like I got an insider. Has anybody ever used the internet before? And again, this is the year 2000, and so this guy raised his hand. Has anybody ever sent an email before? This guy raised his hand. So I went and I grabbed the guy's wheelchair and kind of didn't even know how to do that. I was kind of banging him against the tables when I was bringing him up on stage, and the activity director whispered into my ear that any question I asked, the guy was going to raise his hand. And so the point of that is that we've kind of done this whole company, and 15 years later, and lots of sweat and tears, but really cool things, is I think it's been a total benefit that we came at it without having any clue as to what the industry was, because you just see people longing for some kind of connection, and you see technology there as something that we all use day after day after day. But for some reason, people don't make the connection that people, whether it's a dementia path or an MS path or whatever it may be, something that physically or cognitively puts them into, I wouldn't say worse, just a different place than most of us are. They are just as thirsty to stay connected. They are just as thirsty to be relevant as anybody is. And I think that technology as this opportunity to just do such an incredible job of bridging it in really simple, dignified ways. And that's all I'm going to do for about 15 minutes, is just show you examples of that. So Josh is my high-tech guy back there. I'm going to do the, when I flip my ear, it means play the video. But the first picture I'm going to show is that just look at what's happening today in technology. And instead of thinking about how does it impact yourself, think about how it may impact the person you're caring for, or if you're in a community, how does it impact the residents that you're dealing with. So go ahead and show this first clip. This is a clip from Microsoft, but again, watch it from the context of how this technology could impact the person with dementia.
Microsoft is calling it the biggest shift in computing since it gave up DOS commands and went to graphics. That means no more mice, no more keyboards. It's all hands-on. King 5's Glenn Farley tonight with the latest in technology.
This really shows you how realistic the technology can be.
You can play in the water without getting wet.
No kidding.
Yes.
Have you ever put together a jigsaw puzzle when the picture was actually moving?
We absolutely see surfaces, right, becoming smart. Whether it's in your countertop, or whether it's a freestanding coffee table, a kitchen table, or on the wall. It will do multi-touch.
Microsoft Corporate VP Tom Gibbons gives us the interactive tour. It's called Surface Computing, and you can do it without the interface of a mouse.
It'll do object recognition.
How about ordering something off a virtual restaurant menu?
So we go into this restaurant.
Yeah. And then I can just take stuff here and I can drag it in.
And when it comes time to pay, just lay down your credit card, divvy up the bill, add in the tip, and leave. Under the screen are cameras that can actually see what you're touching, and then the computer reacts, creating an image.
There we go. And again, we just put it down here, and it spills out.
Photos, not a problem.
See,
it's like they're magically drawn out of your digital camera into the box, wirelessly, of course.
So now you can grab photos, and I can grab photos, and we can make them bigger,
So it's
smaller.
almost like a big light table in this case.
In this case, it is. And so we've used those different attributes of surface computing in this application to create a totally different kind of experience. If you've got video you want running, you can actually play the video.
The first of these units will go into bars, restaurants, casinos, and retail stores. But when can you get one for your home?
We are shooting for around 3 to 4 years.
A price tag within a home budget. In Redmond, Glenn Farley, King 5 News.
Right now, commercial units are expected to sell between $5,000 and $10,000.
So you take that kind of technology, and the next clip I'm going to show, it's a woman at a dementia-specific community in Arizona, and she's completely immersed. Again, all these clips I'm going to show are people that, for the most part, are very difficult to be engaged in anything. So this particular clip is going to be a woman that, on the touch screen, and thanks to Carol from Brookdale, they have one of our systems back there. There's a screen saver of minnows that when you touch the screen, the minnows all run away. And so go ahead, this next clip shows this woman that has trouble getting engaged.
Isn't that neat? So when she touches the screen over there, it's changing, making waves.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, you've got to come over here. You can't see it. You've got to look over there.
And again, that's off the shelf. That's a screensaver built into Microsoft. That's not anything that is elaborate. It's just built into HP TouchSmart's computers. So you have all these off-the-shelf, readily available experiences that we've seen for 15 years completely change somebody's life. And go ahead, just keep going, Josh. Go to the next one. This is a gentleman that was, and again, I'm talking a lot with these clips of people living in nursing homes or assisted living communities. It's just as relevant for people living at home. It just so happens that that's where I'm grabbing these clips from. This guy right here, in a nursing home in Iowa, in his room all day long, doing absolutely nothing but watching television, 24 hours a day watching television. This community got our system, and one of the things that we include with it is an off-the-shelf flight simulator. So all of a sudden the family sees this flight simulator, and it's like, oh yeah, we didn't tell you this, but our father was a pilot in the Korean War. And so this guy who was in his room doing nothing is now mapped out 26 weeks in advance what plane is he flying and what part of the world is he flying to. And go ahead and show his clip.
You gonna land it there, sir?
And this is what he's doing every single day. And now he's participating in other activities. Now he's eating better from a $99 flight simulator that's off the shelf. And it's because it's what's relevant to him. To the geography teacher, it's not going to be the flight simulator. It's geography puzzles. It's that effort to find out what makes a person tick and how does it make that work. I am 54, and it doesn't matter whether I am 20, 30, 54, 80, or 90. I like Bruce Springsteen, and I don't like the Carpenters. If you get me Bruce Springsteen, I'm going to get to a good place. If you get me the Carpenters, I'm going to want more drugs. And so it's all a matter of what's relevant for ourselves. Go ahead to the next clip. I love this clip. We just got this a couple months ago. It's a woman, and those of you who work in communities, I'm sure will be able to identify with this personality. It's a woman who, this is about a 30-minute span of time. But the woman at the beginning is the same woman at the end. And you would think it's a completely different person. It's a person who's agitated, who does not want to participate in therapy. They want to get her standing therapy. She wants nothing to do with it. And just by showing her Google Earth, showing her a video, it's going into the farm that she grew up on in New Jersey, her entire persona changes. So go ahead and play the clip.
Go ahead and push with both arms. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Up you come. There. Perfect.
Oh. Can we go back now?
Well, we're just going to do a couple more exercises.
I'm too tired.
Well, we want to make sure we let the doctor know we got them done, right?
What?
We want to let the doctor know you got them done.
I don't care what the doctor thinks.
Yeah.
No. And this is, oh my goodness.
If you touch the screen, just tap it.
Mm-hmm.
You can zoom right down the street, and then it'll take a second and clear up.
Uh-huh.
Can you touch it?
Yeah.
Touch it.
You can try it, Dorothy.
Tap it.
Huh?
Tap it with your finger. Just tap anywhere. Yep. Just a quick.
Yeah. Oh.
So you look at that clip, and I know I get such a kick when I see the clip every time I watch it. But when you really take a step back, all she's doing is what probably 90% of us in this room do when we're exercising. We've got our music on, we're doing some diversion, but for some reason, when you throw it into the context of a nursing home, it has a whole different context. And I'm sorry to embarrass you, Carol, but I do so applaud Brookdale, because Brookdale has our systems, by the end of the year, will be in 400 of their communities. And the reason they're doing it is because of people like me. Forget me as this company. Think of me as a person deciding where my mom or dad should go. And both my parents are gone. They both had glorious deaths, and I miss them every day, but they had glorious deaths. But if I was in that position of having to figure out where mom or dad would go. I'm sorry to all the marketing people in the communities. I could care less what your furniture looks like. I want to know how you're keeping mom or dad connected, brain fit, Skyping with the grandkids, engaged in what's relevant to you so much more than kind of an amenity-based mindset that does nothing to touch the person's soul. And I tell you, technology is this nonstop way to constantly touch the person's soul. And it's, I mean, I'm so giddy as our company because we're just scratching the surface of some of these things that we can do. This is we just added this device to our system. It's called a beams player, and it's laser beam. It's going to be hard to kind of tell in this clip, but it's a laser. You break the plane, and there's a laser beam going across, and the laser beam equates to a musical instrument. And you can't, I love it personally because you can't screw it up. You put your hand through the laser beam, and you're playing a cello, or you're playing a banjo, whatever background music you play. So these two clips I'm going to show back to back. It's a gentleman having fun doing it. As you look, go ahead and play the clip. And as you look at the clip, look at the woman in the background.
And the top. Go with the beat, Nance.
You got some soul going in there.
Hey, Charlie. I'm going to do the squeeze box, Joe. I'll do this. Charlie, how do you feel when you get to use that machine and you get to participate in that, making that music? How does that make you feel?
It's an upbeat. You feel like a good person. You feel like you're ready for the whole day.
That's it, yeah.
This is a woman that for 3 years has lived in this nursing home. And Vince, this is totally for you, what I'm talking about here. This is a woman that for 3 years lives in this nursing home playing bingo in that top right activity room. The bottom left picture is she's in hospice. She cannot get out of bed anymore. Great community. They're giving her all kinds of spiritual content, all kinds of ways to keep her connected. Is there anything else we can do for you? Yeah, can I play bingo? And so it's really just through Skype. She's only about 100 yards away from the activity room, but till the day she died, she can see them, they can see her, and she was able to play bingo until the day she died. And what was so cool about her story is she had 2 granddaughters in high school that were in Australia for some kind of summer exchange program. And they were able to log on from a computer in Australia, and they were able to look her grandmother in the eye and say goodbye to her. And they never saw her again. And I just think that the end of life, and it sounds like with what Vince is telling me and the stuff that Good Shepherd's doing, they're already starting to do some of these things. It's just common sense. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's just putting what we would want into the world of the people that we're serving. It's very personal to me because my brother, who I started the company with, died about 10 years ago. And at the end of his life, he was in a hospital in Denver. And one $500,000 machine after another was coming into his bedroom or in his hospital room, trying to keep him alive. He was dying. He was fine with dying. Get the machines the hell out of there. Let him have a dignified death. Then he died. 40 people from all over the country come to say goodbye to him, and they say goodbye to his casket. For 1/10,000th of the cost, you could have had an iPad in his head, and those 30 people going one after another around the country, say what you meant to my brother. And it's just rethinking the way we do so much of this stuff. And again, it's not a waiting for tomorrow's Jetson-based technology. It's just taking what we do every day and put it into the lives of the people that you're so diligently and heartwarmingly serving. Go ahead to the next clip.
All right, up we go. All right, we're going to walk forward. walk it backwards. Alright, now we're going to take long steps. There. Take long steps. Long. There you go. Good. And long steps backwards. It is hard. Yep. Alright. Can you stand here without hanging on? And try and keep your hands at your sides. Can you move your hips back and forth? Yep. There you go. Hips side to side. Alright. Now we're going to do the shoulders side to side. There you go. All the way to the right, all the way to the left. Now like this, Joni. Try not to hang on. Shoulders back, shoulders forward. Good. Now do this one. Twist your body. Whoa, that's a hard one. Now to the right. Nice job.
Yeah, so go ahead to the next one. So again, just common sense connections. And it's fascinating how kids are able to make these connections all the time. I think this is the last clip I'm going to show. This is a Brookdale Clare Bridge community in Arizona and again, I'm sure a lot of you can personally completely relate to this story. It's a woman that her father is about 100 miles away from her. And she's driving 2 or 3 times a week to see him, to try to stay engaged and connected, and it's killing her own life. Absolutely killing her own life as a caregiver and a mother, and all the stress that people have when they're trying to deal with both ends of this. And anyway, the community got our system, and there's a whole Skype thing built into it. And so now she's driving to see him on Saturday mornings, once a week. She is fine with that. And 2 or 3 times a week, they're just Skyping. And you'll see in this clip, it's a great clip because she's trying to remember the name of a family, and he helps her remember it. Go ahead.
Well, you know, there's one, and I keep telling my friends this story. I remember when we were one year when we were camping at Yosemite, we were with Ken and Louise. Gosh, I can't remember their last name. Ken and Louise. They had a boy named Rick and Ricky. I can't remember what their last name was. But anyway, we were camping with them. Jackson, that's right, Ken and Louise Jackson and Ricky Jackson, yeah. And it was in the evening, and you went and hid behind the garbage cans, and somebody had Louise go take the garbage to the garbage cans, and when she got to the Dad, you were terrible. When she got to the garbage can to empty the garbage in there, you jumped up from behind the garbage cans and went roar like that, like a bear, and it scared the living daylights out of her, and she ran screaming away, and everybody was laughing, and I don't think Louise thought it was so funny.
No, I don't think so either.
But everybody else did. But oh, that was hysterical. That was so funny.
So you know, I applaud all the effort, and I don't. This can come across totally the wrong way. I certainly applaud all the valid work that gets done to try and put money into research to find the cure. But man, in the meantime, there is a lot of stuff that can be happening to make people's days better. And one of the really cool things about this kind of stuff is it's a great way to get kids that aren't sure how to connect and they're a little uncomfortable with their grandparents who may be declining, get them totally engaged. Technology is such a cool tool to be able to do that. So that really is just, I guess my message is a pretty simple one, and that is that there's all kinds of off-the-shelf technologies that can change people's life wherever they are down the whole dementia path. That it's critical, it's so important that when you plan the technology, make it relevant for the person. There was a community that had our system in Illinois that we had about 5 or 6 other communities there to see a demonstration, and they had this resident lead the demonstration, and I couldn't figure out why, because he was so slowly shuffling up to the system. I didn't know what was going to happen. Clearly far down a cognitive decline path, he touched his picture on the screen, and it went right to his own experience, and his own experience has a picture of him getting an award in the mid-1970s as a chemist. And the guy sees this picture of him getting this award, and for 30 minutes every day, he becomes that chemist again. And he starts talking, and he starts alliterating things about chemical compounds, and the community, it's like watching a late-night TV preacher thing. It's astounding that to watch this whole amazing transformation that simply takes place because he's seen something that's relevant for him. So it's not at all a technology for the sake of technology. It's technology as a tool to drill into what makes that person tick. And you as caregivers are going to know what that is. And if you can't figure out the right technology, go talk to somebody in junior high and they'll have the right answer for you. And so again, it just in a world that it's so easy, and I say this again on a personal level, having just these 2 glorious experiences of my parents dying so peacefully and relatively quickly, that I don't know what it would be like to watch this daily slow decline. But I can tell you, as running a company that has 2,000 communities around the country and a few places around the world, I mean, every day we hear stories of people's lives that are changed just by taking this technology that we all know is out there and making it applicable for people we love that just happen to be having a disease. I love how you described it. It was a brain failure. You know, if somebody has a kidney failure, you don't look at them funny. You try to help them out. And it really, I love that terminology. So anyway, I tried to stick in my time, Stephanie, the right time. And again, thank you, Carol, for bringing the system here. And I'm going to do a workshop somewhere later. And let's hear it for Joshua, man. That is not easy to make all these things work. So thank you very much.